Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're going back to the Tshwane National Results Operations Centre. Mzwandile Mbeje is standing by with the Chief Electoral Officer. Mzwandile, what's the latest on your side?
Thank you very much, Desiree. Of course, you are correct. I'm with the Chief Electoral Officer right now, Simon Mabolo. As we look at the board, we see that 17 million and 400,000 votes have been cast so far. It means we are close to the finish line. But to tell us more really about what is happening, well, there's been some little disturbance here. What is it? It's a protest?
It's a test.
It's a test, yeah. So they've just done a test which was a bit disturbing, so there's nothing to worry about. So the Chief Electoral Officer is here really to give us an update as to what is happening, given that we know that the official announcement is supposed to happen at 6 o'clock. But there's also a challenge from smaller parties, or rather a threat to say if they don't appoint the independent audit firm to look into the results, so they'll go to electoral court. Mr. Mamabolo, here is a threat. It's 11 o'clock. Are you acceding?
No. It's not a legal requirement for an audit of that nature to be done. The Commission, of its own volition, is doing one with the statistician general. He'll be presenting the outcome of his own verification process to political parties later today. So the Commission is not in a position to accede to the request.
So in terms of the fairness of the process, does that not really call it into question the fairness and perhaps the credibility, given that everyone has been talking about this issue of double voting, and here are people saying appoint an independent process?
You know what? A basic tenet of our law is that he who alleges must prove. And we've been calling for that proof since Wednesday. And we've received very few cases that have since been prosecuted. So it cannot be that there's a cloud which is not substantiated, but a cloud that is used to impugn the integrity of the whole process. And that is not to mean there may not have been problems. Indeed, in any election there would be problems, but one has to factor that, has to measure that against the impact of materiality and what is the proportion of that problem in relation to the whole. Now, it cannot be that we impugn the whole because of aberrations here and there. Go to any Western world, go to any part of the world, you'll never have an election with no glitch. But those glitches, you measure what impact in terms of materiality they have on the overall process. You don't use aberrations to then impugn or imperil the totality of the process. And I think as South Africans, we've got to be measured in how we make those types of assessments.
Just update us from now on until 5, what's going to be happening?
Yes, a few things still that to happen. The Commission is finalizing some objections. In some cases, the Commission has recommended recounts, and those have been undertaken to confirm that things were captured correctly and so on. And once all objections are done, and we also hear from the statistician general from about midday, then the Commission will give us direction regarding the result announcements process.
I see that we are at 99.96, and this board is really stubborn. It doesn't want to vanish. So when is the final count coming in on the board?
Look, we had wanted to do it by midnight, but there are some obstinate VDs. But we are pushing very hard that we clear them. So in the not too distant future, we should be at 100%. And barring the recounts that the Commission is ordering and the objections that the Commission is now considering, there may be slight amendments, but nothing fundamental so as to change the configuration of votes for the the different parties.
So just to one confirmation, so at 6 o'clock, the announcement of results is happening.
The Commission wants to clear the objections and then hear from the Statistician General. And at that point, a formal announcement will be made.
A formal announcement of whether the results will be announced or the announcement of results?
No. A formal announcement as to what is going to be the process going forward vis-a-vis the results.
Okay. In short, there is a possibility they may not be announced today, given whatever would have happened.
All is within the bounds of possibility.
Okay, I get you there. Thank you very much, Mr. Mabumbulu.
Thanks.
That was the Chief Electoral Officer, Saima Mabulo, basically saying it's all systems go, but of course there are certain processes that need to be gone through for the process to be finalized. That's right?
Mzwandile, thank you so much for the update. You were talking earlier about the prediction that about 12 parties will be going to the National Assembly. And isn't it just a sad day that Themba Godi's party might not be making that appearance? All right, we seem to have lost Mzwandile Mbeje there. We'll be talking to him again later. Let's go now to